So mindset wise, and then just physically, I had never, been that physically active. But what it did is it allowed me to see how far I could push myself and know that I could stand next to 18, 19-year-old and be just as good. And it really, felt, really good to be able to do that. Same thing now. Same thing now at almost 55 years old. When I'm at drill and we're doing physical activity, and I look at young people sometimes, and not all, but some, they're groaning about, this is too hard, this is too that. And I'm like, I'm 20, years, you're, junior, 25 years or so, and I'm still doing it. No, I may not be doing it at, a higher level, but I am doing it and meeting the standards. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. So it was challenging and a lot of pushing, and I'm glad I did it. Like I said, I would not change anything, about the experience.
Welcome to another episode of She Served Sheroes. We're having a fantastic season 2. And today we're so happy to have with us the gutsy midlife coach, Ms. Vernie, who is actually still in the military. So I want to let you introduce yourself and tell us who you are, what branch you're serving in, and a little bit about yourself, please.
Good morning. Thank you for having me, first off. Okay, so I'm Vernie. Of course, you introduced me as the gutsy midlife coach. So I coach midlife women that are in midlife that's over 50 and just looking for something else, in their life. A lot of times we've, been moms, wives, we did careers. And when we get in our 50s, some of that kind of slows down a little bit because we don't have so much responsibility. And so it's an opportunity for us to kind of look back at ourselves and decide, some of those things that we maybe had to put on the shelf to come back to us in order for us, to figure out what we want to do next. And I think I went into that without the other introduction of that, but let me get into that. Outside of being a life coach for midlife women, I work full time, and I also am in the Army Reserves. And so I'm about to retire here in a couple of years, so I'm excited about that. But with that retirement, it goes, I know that I'm made for more. I've done, the things that I mentioned before, wife, mother, career. Now I'm looking at doing things, for myself and things that I want to do. And a big part of that is also just helping other women do the same thing, because as older women, sometimes, our confidence level, our, whatever falls off, and we go, maybe it's past my time. And I'm saying, no, it is not past our time. We have more time to go to do, whatever it is that we want to do in our life.
Yes, I love that. Well, I want to hear all about the work that you're doing now, how you even got to that path to where you are now. But I always like to start with the very first question, the same question. What made you join the military? Why did you sign the dotted line? How did you become a military woman?
Okay, so I joined the military very late in my life. I was 37 years old. And to be true, to be really honest about it, I had a strange relationship, meaning I didn't have a good relationship with my father. And my father was in the military. And so I thought by joining, even late in life, that would help bring us closer together. I can say that it really did not, unfortunately, but just me coming in and going through that part of my life has been incredible. One, coming in late in life, because for anybody that's not familiar with military, you're usually almost through by 37. You're almost, at the point of retirement. And by me coming in so late, it was just different, but it has been the most rewarding thing. I would not change it for the world. Like I said, initially, I said to come and have a better relationship with my father because that would, I thought, help us connect because he was a military man and he lived and breathed military. It didn't do that, but it opened up so much else in my life. I have made incredible friendships, incredible lifelong family that are not blood, have been to some incredible places, have met, and did some incredible things that otherwise I would have probably never done in my life.
You know,
So, yeah.
that's amazing. And just I've heard other people have talked to other women who have joined the military a little bit later. Like you said, a lot of times people go right after college. They're looking for, right after high school. They're looking for those college benefits,
Yes.
those type of things. And I have talked to other women that have joined the military a little bit later. But because you talked specifically about being a midlife coach, I want to stay on that a little bit longer.
Okay.
What was that experience like going into basic training and everyone being, so much younger? Did you find like acclimating going in later versus earlier? What was that journey like or experience like?
Yeah, that experience was probably at the time one of the most difficult things to do so. One is the age difference. So normally, I went in with recruits. There was one lady in my group that was older than me. She was 42 years old. And then I was next. So it's just a different age bracket. And at the time, I had teenagers, 14 and 16. And so now I was with 18 years old. So it was a tough adjustment at first, mindset wise too, because I'm 37, I was 37 years old. So mindset wise, and then just physically, I had never, been that physically active. But what it did is it allowed me to see how far I could push myself and know that I could stand next to 18, 19-year-olds and be just as good. And it really, felt, really good to be able to do that. Same thing now. Same thing now at almost 55 years old. When I'm at drill and we're doing physical activity and I look at young people sometimes, and not all, but some, they're groaning about, this is too hard, this is too that. And I'm like, I'm 20, years, you're, junior, 25 years or so, and I'm still doing it. No, I may not be doing it at, a higher level, but I am doing it and meeting the standards. And sometimes that's all you can ask for. So it was challenging and a lot of pushing, and I'm glad I did it. Like I said, I would not change anything, about the experience. It was just amazing. And as it continues, it becomes more amazing.
So sometimes we put limits on ourselves, right? Well, I didn't
Exactly.
join in my 20s, so it's too late
Yes.
for me. And it's just not the truth.
Exactly. Very true. And same thing I find with coaching and with older women. Now, how did I get into coaching?
Yeah, exactly. You took the words right out of my mouth. Not only coaching,
How did I
but
get
your
into?
entrepreneurial journey. Were you an entrepreneur before you joined the military?
No, I was not. I was not. It's only come. So this is what I started looking at. You want to start mapping out, what do you want to do in the next 4 years, 5 years, whatever, maybe the next month. So I am a big journal person, meaning writing it down, paper and pen in hand, and just journaling, my goals to know what it is I want to do next. And so when I was probably in my 5 years of getting close to my retirement, I said, Bernie, what do you want to do next? Because you're not just going to go home and sit, or you're not going to, even just go home and, volunteer, travel, whatever. I mean, I'm planning to do all of that as I do that now. but I just know that I'm made for so much more. And one thing, I can talk, and sometimes 100 miles an hour. But with that being said, I thought about my journey. Um, just the difficulties I had throughout my life. And like I said, when I came into the military, I think even at that late, it was the best thing for me. I had a lot of things that I had been dealing with, and coming in and just getting around other people. One, people from all walks of life. So then you learn, different things. But when I came in as well, I started my healing journey of, things that I needed, to heal, um,
And was that conscious?
I experienced over my lifetime that sometimes we just push down and we push down. I just decided, okay, I needed to heal them. So as I was going through that, and that is I think a lateral thing, because you can continue to heal along the way. It's not all of a sudden you're just healed.
Right.
So that's a continuation. But as I was doing that, and the things I was, able to, just talk to other people, and, people come back and say, something that I said to them helped them. So then, I started writing those things down too, okay, I'm good at that. I'm good at that. So then I'm always joining, groups of women, to talk about these things that we need to talk about as women, especially as older women. And sometimes I was finding as I was in those groups, that was the biggest thing is older women were saying, I'm too old, I'm past this. And I'm going, no, ma'am, you are not. You are
Yeah.
not. That is a mind thing. And, we have to get out of our mind. We're not too old to do anything that we choose, to do.
Right,
You know,
absolutely. So when you were talking about your healing journey, everyone's looks completely different. So this is something
exactly.
that you kind of did
Mhm.
consciously, you were doing the work. What was that work for you? What were you doing to work through your healing?
So the work for me was counseling.
Okay.
I did counseling, a lot of journaling, a lot of reading books. There's some phenomenal books out there, that I share, with my ladies. So there's, that, and just really just doing the work. You have to do the work because, I say all the time, you can go to counseling every day, but if you don't choose, to really do the work and just, think, oh, it's okay, you're not going to get there. You have to, and do it step by step, of what it is that you want, to happen for that time. And it's going to get overwhelming. And for me, sometimes it would get overwhelming. And I'm not ashamed to say I stopped. I stopped a while because it would just get too overwhelming.
Hey there, Sheroes. We're cooking up something special for you, just as promised. To all who are attending the Women's Veteran Engage Conference in Las Vegas, get ready for a night of healing and empowerment like no other. Introducing Heal and Flow, a night of movement, an exclusive bonus event sponsored by Veteran Social Club. Join us at the Craft Motions on Friday, April 26th for an exhilarating evening of therapeutic movement. Release stress, build confidence, and connect with fellow veterans in a welcoming and supportive environment. Whether you're new to these activities or a seasoned pro, there's something for everyone at Heal and Flow. Register now for the Women's Veteran Engage Conference and secure your spot at Heal and Flow, a night of movement with She Serves Sheroes, sponsored by Veterans Social Club.
And then I would look at things in my life and some same patterns that I was repeating. And I go, okay, Vernie, no, you need to go back because you need some more help in that area. You can't, just, fix this by yourself. You need, someone else to see what you don't see, to
Yeah.
fix your blind side. And so then I would, go back again and start, so I tell people if that's what you need, go. If you have to stop and go back, do that. But the most important thing is that you get healed because until you or in, areas, because like I said, it's lateral. There's a continual healing, but, in parts, especially if you're repeating them, I say that. If you're, see yourself in a cycle of repeating some of your same thing, those are the ones that you probably need to work on first.
And I always think it's really important, like you just said, there were times in your healing journey, even though it is lateral, but when you were entering your healing journey, that you stopped. Those are the times, a lot of times, that we feel like, oh, I gave up, I suck, I whatever. So I really like to hear those, when you see someone like yourself that can coach others, that we can understand, you know what, it wasn't just smooth selling. She wasn't just like, I'm going to tell you how to fix your life.
Oh, no, it was a continuous, like I said, going back and forth, staying with the journey, figuring out what worked. But I say that all the time, what worked for me may not work for somebody else. That this life is a individual thing of what you make it and what you do. The part is, just doing it.
Yeah. I hear that. So as you're going through your work, you're talking to people, you're starting to impact people, you're noticing that, you're journaling. Now, how did this transition into your entrepreneurial journey?
So, once I, got, myself, in a stable place and say, hey, I know I can help somebody else with this, I got my coaching certificate. So I became a certified life coach, which I am. I got that. And then I started coaching through the reserves. Okay. And some of their, like, I'm part of the MRT program. It's like for, mental health and things like that. So I teach on it sometimes at my unit, but also I've been able to go to some other units that we have across the country, just be on their panel of doing that. And so then from there, I was like, I want to do this. This is what I want to do next in my next season. So I am going to get it going and just continue it, as I'm going on. So right now, I just do one-on-one coaching. Okay. And because I'm still working full time, and then I have the obligation to the Army Reserves, I'm, moving a little slower than someone else. But I don't want to say that I'm a part-time coach, because I'm not a part-time coach. I just do one-on-one coaching, and then I just have a small group that I work with at a time. And my coaching program is for 4 months. So I have a set, and it's for 4 months. And I work just with a small group, for now, as I'm continuing to get it going. But with that being said, that's how I go back and talk, to the women that, I talk to and I coach, because, you hear them say, well, I'm too busy, or I have all of this going on, or, I just can't see. And I mean, that may be the case. I just say, figure out what works best for you. But if you, have dreams and you have aspirations of doing stuff, start somewhere, however small that is. Maybe you're not ready. If you were looking at, maybe at one day I want to do a business, maybe you're not ready to start it right now, kind of like I did, where I just kind of, gradually went into it. But, get the things, go out there and get this, whatever licenses, degrees, whatever you need for whatever you want to do next. And then in that same token, you may not even want to start a business. So I don't always talk, to women. I let them come to me, if they want to start a business, because it is a huge undertaking, But my biggest thing, I think, for my women is just getting their mindset wrapped around, not about age, not about how many years you've been around this world and putting limits on yourself, but what do you want to do next with your life? And it, like I said, it may not be business stuff. It may be as simple as, where I want to live. I lived in this place all my life, but I want to go somewhere else. But I hear people saying, you shouldn't go over there, or you shouldn't do this. I'm saying, stop and decide what you want to do, what is meaningful to you,
Right.
and how the things that you want to do with your life. And do not let the age be the limit to it.
That is wonderful. We recently participated in a entrepreneur cohort with Bunker Labs organization. Are you familiar with Bunker Labs? Yeah, they're wonderful. And one of our cohort members, she has retired, and one of the things she talked about was, at a certain age, she kind of thought, should I retire or relaunch? And it was something as she spoke that my mom got to hear, who was kind of in a space where she's getting ready to retire as well. And she was in the space of kind of like, I'm at the retirement age. I'm at the retirement age. And it's just a different spark when she kind of just heard that option of, or relaunch, right?
Yes.
It's not,
Yes.
we're not
Yes.
ending, we're
Mhm.
going into another season. And these,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I would think a lot of it as well, not a lot of it, but some of this is just removing limitations from our own minds.
Hmm.
And we raise children, but when is the time for me? So what is it that you say kind of to mid-aged women, to kind of encourage them to, I guess, put themselves first?
Is, basically is, the time. Look at all the time that you spent, whether it was kids or, marriage, that, just like when we have spouses, we encourage them, to do things, to get that promotion, to get that job, to step out. If they decide to do entrepreneurship, we, give that to them. But sometimes we sit back and say, we're just the supporters. And that's fine, but sometimes you need to support yourself, because we have dreams. We had dreams before, and we may have had to kind of put those dreams to the side because we were a mother, we were a spouse, we were whatever we were doing. But I say now is, if you have the time, or you can find the time, about getting into yourself, about what it is that you want to do, like I said. And it may not be something that you want to do, but it is who I even want to be, because sometimes it's about, I think we started fading back, in I guess in the structure as we're getting older. And this is not about fading back. This is, being out there, being your fullest self, whatever, whatever that means to you, and like I said, that means, different things to different people. But I find, just from my experience, from the women that I work with, it's always that they had a dream to do something, or they didn't have a dream before, but they have a dream now. I want to do something, but when I tell somebody, or if I, told my spouse or told my friends or told, my family, they'd be like, "Are you sure you want to do that?" And I'm saying, "Yes, you're sure." And then my next thing is, don't tell them.
Some
Don't
things are
tell
for the
them.
self, right?
Some things are for the self, until you get confident, in yourself, of what it is that you're doing, and then you can, share that, with someone else.
Right.
And
And
don't let anybody talk you out of, something that you want to do. Go out there, research it, whatever it is you want to do. You want to move to another country, you want to move to another city, go visit it. Go, figure out what you're going to do there. I'm just saying, that's just bottom line, but whatever, research it on your own. Don't let anybody try to stop you. And then you don't try to stop you, because, we know that inner critic sometimes is like, yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe I shouldn't. Maybe I should just, stay right here in this little spot,
I've always been.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly.
Yeah. It's tough to, one, hear the voices of others. But even when you are not hearing the voices of others, we still have to deal with, what we're telling ourselves and how we talk ourselves out of thing. I had someone say that to me, you got out the military and you'll just get up and move. How do you do that? It's like, find a place, enroll your kids, go.
Yeah. Yeah. And then this is the other thing I always tell my people, is that you can try anything. The thing is just to try. And if you don't like it, sometimes we think we're going to be tied or stuck to something, and so we go, I just don't even want to do that. But the beauty about it is you can try anything. And if you don't like it, stop and try something else.
Yeah.
It's just that simple. I did this and I didn't like it. So, okay, I'm going to do something else,
Yeah.
And again, that's mindset is you just, thinking that this is just it, whatever it is, this is just have to be the it. But I mean, we can change, things every day if we want to. It's up to us. We get to navigate our lives. That's what I keep telling you. You get to navigate your life.
Yeah, that is awesome. So I know you mentioned that you coach individually, a 4-month program, but also as well, you have some opportunities on base to do some coaching as well. Were there any kind of resources as a military member that helped you start your business, or how did you, obtain a contract to where you can teach on base?
So I don't have a contract. It's just from being in the MRT program.
Okay.
And so with that is, like I said, I took the program, and then they're always asking for people that took the program to come back and become, trainers as well. And so with that, I did that. I also took, I want to say it's a boot camp for veterans out there also that I took, and I don't know if it's called boot camp or boots on ground or something. I'm just not sure exactly, but there is a program out there for veterans. I took that because they help you also with getting contracts, how to start, and they have like monthly meetings virtually that you can sign up into and just learn different things. So I also took that as well.
That through the SBA, Boots to Business?
Yes, that's what it is.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
I couldn't remember, but Boots to Business.
Boots
yes.
to Business. Yeah, there's so many programs, resources out there that, definitely would just like to share them and call them by name for anyone that is looking for. Because like you said, if you're starting a business, a lot of times it's like, okay, where do I start? I know what I want to do. How do I do it?
Yes.
And there's a lot of that support, especially in the military veteran community, for establishing your business. And so you're able to participate in Boots to Business with the SBA. That's awesome.
Yes, I did do that. I couldn't remember the name, but that is it. Boots to Business.
There's so many things that we juggle, so many things. I mean, you are a coach, a military member, you work full time, and I'm sure that's just skimming.
Yes.
What and who you are. So we carry a whole lot of things, and I understand that. So the women that you're catering to, are they generally in the space of going towards retirement, or is it just simply over 50, you're looking for where we're going next?
So it's over 50. What do you want to do next? So I don't particularly just speak to women that are retiring. I am going to start talking about that more on the platforms that I'm on. So I'm on Facebook and I'm on Instagram. So I'm going to talk more, start talking a little bit more about that, because I think, like I was saying before, if you are still working, over 50, you kind of like feel overwhelmed because you're kind of like, now, how am I going to start a business and, still working and things like that, if you wanted to with that, or sometimes just to do anything else, in your life. So I'm going to talk a little bit more, about that on my platform, is the balance between them. But it really is, what do you really want to do in your next half of life? That's what I'm constantly talking about, is what is it that you want to do? And what do you need to do? Who do you need to become in order to make those things happen? Because I think, for over midlife women, we're looking for more meaning and purpose. Not that any other group, I don't want anybody to get on and say, we are too. Not that any other group, but I think it's more, for us, because now we've kind of slowed down in our lives, like I said, from where we were before. And so we start to look more, like I said, for purpose and meaning. We just really need to work, though, really more on ourselves about what we truly want. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand that. I am not quite 50 yet, but it is it is peeking at me. It is peeking at me. And a little bit of my story. I lost my husband a couple of years ago to COVID. And so for myself, it's like I feel like I'm in a midlife, you know what I mean, situation where it's kind of like, who do I want to be? Like you said, just that purpose and everything. I have adult children. I do have one that's still younger, but after losing my husband, it's like I have to show up in this world with purpose, or I don't want to show up at all. So I totally understand kind of where you're coming from. And yeah, it's like you think about the children, you think about, especially with the husband, it's all about the family, this, and then sometimes things happen where you actually have to think about yourself. And now it's like, so who am I? And like you said, and who is it that I want to be on this planet? And just because I had an idea of who that was for the first half of my life, the first, all these years, it can be a completely different picture now.
Yes.
And like you said, those blind spots, we do often need someone outside to help us guide and navigate, because you don't know what you don't know.
Exactly. That is very true. What you're saying is because, sometimes we're only our experiences, where we've been, what we've done, that we don't truly realize, kind of like what I mentioned in the beginning. I'm from a small town in Texas. Okay. I had never been outside of that town until I went to basic training. And I went to basic training in South Carolina. And so that was a big experience to me, even as an older woman. That was a big experience to me. And then when I returned from basic training, 6 months later, I was deployed to Iraq. And that was even more a big, experience. Is to, now I've left the country. Not only did I just leave, where I was, but I've left the country to a whole new environment. But like I said in the beginning, I would not trade it anything for the world, because it opened up, this whole military opened up so much, for me, that I don't think otherwise I would have been here. I don't think otherwise I would be doing what I'm doing now. I don't think that it would not have come to me to even coach or want to coach midlife women. So, I mean, all of these things, are your experiences. And that's another thing that I tell, my ladies, that my clients, is all of us have different experiences. They have different experiences, and you can bring them, to wherever it is that you're going, or want to go. And just because you were here does not mean you can't go here, but I'm saying, I don't think if I would have never left where I was, that I would have this same mindset.
Right. So a lot of times those new experiences, uncomfortable experiences really shape our character. And like you were saying, if you hadn't been, out of your small town, which many people haven't, a lot of people are very comfortable. I grew up with people that live in the exact same neighborhood from when we were children. And so it's like, this is where I am, and this is where I've been, and this is where I'm going to be.
Yes.
So do you feel like it was the leadership principles in the military, the experience of traveling around the world, or what do you think kind of helped shift your perspective and desires to, do more?
I think it was a little all of it, just like I said, just the experience of, there's something bigger than the little corner I was in. There was so much out there, like, so it's being able to travel, being able to meet so many people from all over the world that bring another perspective, to you, because you cultivate these friendships, that people are, different from you, and whether it was just um, different cultures or different, just wherever they came from, because we know that people in the Midwest can be different from the people on the West Coast or, East Coast, anything. So just the people, the leadership, the places, I've been, just, I think the combination of all of it.
Right. I understand. When I joined the military, it wasn't something that, I was brought up with. I didn't have a lot of family in the military per se. It was something that I did on my own. So I didn't know exactly what I was getting myself into. But I would say, definitely, even though I'm from Los Angeles, a big city, just experiencing people from all over the world in basic training, you're in tight quarters with a whole lot of women.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I totally understand that. I attribute a lot of who I am, the good and the bad, from the experience has definitely cultivated who I am today. So, do you work primarily with veteran women or just women over 50 period?
I work with women over 50 period.
Yeah.
I've worked with some veteran women. I work with some women that still serve, but
Yeah.
I'm just to any women, because my whole thing is to just advocate, do whatever for women over 50 to say, hey, get out of this box. We're not going to let, age be our cage, that we are just going to live, until we're not here anymore. And doing whatever that is to you that brings you joy, and happiness. Because, we know there's so much, going on in the world right now. And then there's so much going on sometimes inside your family that you're like, I just want to, get to a place where, I say, not always trying to survive, but, living in that happy place, and I know we're not happy all the time. You're not happy 100% of the time, but you can get to a place in your life that you're more happy than you are sad,
Yes.
and learning that, and then figuring out that happiness doesn't have to do with circumstances, really. It really has to do with you and inside of you and you choosing that to be happy.
Yeah, definitely.
So I am on a mission. There's other midlife, women out there that midlife coaches, I'm sorry, that I adore and that are doing amazing things. And I'm just coming along with them. And when we're, holding up midlife women and we're, with each other and we're saying, other groups, millennials, whoever, they have their groups and they have their talking to, and we're talking to the women over 50 saying, keep going, sister, keep going. It's more
Yes.
life. It's more life.
I love that. And I hear it. And also, what I really enjoy about what you're doing specifically in the military community is being an example of life after the service. You're already, a lot of times we talk about how, just transitioning is not always smooth. A lot of times when you get out, it's kind of like, who am I? Where am I? For a lot of people, that's not everyone's experience. But having someone that's going to help you guide before you're transitioning. Let's start getting ready now.
Yes.
That is really, really wonderful. I really like to hear that you're already thinking about, and not just thinking about, you're acting on, but I know this is how you help your clients as well. What are we doing in the next 5 years? If we're retiring in 3, what does 2 years after that look like?
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Yes,
Awesome.
I'm always talking about that, is what are you going to, be doing? And then just getting a plan in place, Just getting a plan in place. What am I going to do? What do I need to do to get to that next step? What do I need to do to get to that next step? Because sometimes too, we have to see the whole staircase. We're like, or let me say not everybody, I'm going to say me. I've been, a control freak. Like I needed to see the end before I could see. And that sets you up for self-sabotage because you like, until I can see all of those steps in place, I'm not going to make this first step. And then you never get anywhere. So I had to, nope, let's write the steps down, start one step at a time, put them somewhere where I can see them and I can see myself accomplishing them. Okay. I didn't meet that step. I'm not going to beat up on myself. I'm going to show some self-compassion. I'm going to come back and I'm going to repeat that step again. But what I'm going to do is not stop. I'm going to keep going because I know if I keep going, I'm going to get there.
Yes, I love that because like you said, and a lot of us as women, we are control freaks, right? We have so many things that we have to manage and we have to make sure that we're managing them correctly. And part of my journey, I had a coach that said to me, so what happens if you fall off track, right? We're always talking about, I need to be on track. I have to do this. I have to do that. And then this. And he goes, well, what happens if you fall off track? And it's like, I don't know, try to find my way back to the track. And he's like, what about walk beside it? What about cross over it? What about come back to it? Keep like exactly what you just said. Keep moving forward because what we do know is if I'm waiting to see the completion of the step, I'm waiting and not moving.
Exactly. Exactly.
So yes, I hear exactly what you're saying. My partner and I, that's in the background here with us, Latari, we call this a wake up and walk season because we try to plan everything out. We try to cross all these T's and dot the I's, but then we'll find out, okay, we thought we were going this way. Turns out we're making an abrupt left all of a sudden. So
yeah. And that happens. And that happens all the time. And so, like I said, a lot of times we get to the point where we say, okay, I'm just going to stop. And we start to say, maybe it's not for me. And that's the negative self-talk. And we go, no, it is for you. Things are going to happen. I mean, this is just life. Things are going to happen. And then you just go back, you regroup and come again.
That's awesome. So just in helping women's mindsets, we did talk about your social media a little bit. You said what you do on social media, but we definitely want to know exactly what your social media is and how we can find you. But if someone were looking for like, what would it be like to work with Vernie? What is the process or what is like a first step that you want people to kind of think about?
So the first step I want them to think about is, are you ready? Because that's very important because, we can say all the time, I'm ready, but if you're not really ready, that's when you kind of do the bounce back and forth. So, one, are you ready to make the commitment to yourself, not to me, but to yourself to do the work? And are you willing to possibly lay down some excuses? I mean, because we're always going to be busy. We're always going to this. We're always going to be that in order to do what it is that you want to do. So I always say that first, if you're planning on working with me, is, just being ready. Now, I'm always posting stuff on I'm on Instagram at Gutsy Midlife Coach. That's my Instagram handle. And it is also my Facebook handle. And I'm just putting things up there. So I always like when people just watch for a while, and see if what I'm saying resonates with them. Because more than anything, for me, it is very important that I attract the people that are for me. Because, we know we don't resonate with everybody. So for me, it's not important, to say, I have all these clients, I have all these followers, I have all this thing, because if I have clients, I want to know that I help them, that we together, collaborated with something that totally changed their life. That's the end goal at the end. And then far as the follower part is, am I, saying things that speak to you? Because I want people to go where people are saying things that speak to them.
Yeah.
So those are the most important things for me. It's not for me to, I think, just to for me, run my mouth. I get that from a girl. It's just you just running your mouth and not really saying anything. So I do say that is to be ready, to do the work for yourself. That's to work with me. Right now, if somebody was looking just to get on my page and just see if what I'm saying resonates with you, if it does not, there are so many other coaches out there. And I say, go look at their page and work with who resonates with you. That is so important, is that you do that. Because to me, like I said, the bottom line goal is that you get what you need in order to live the life that you want to live.
Yeah, I love that.
That's just bottom line.
Right. I love that. And the fact that you said, how important it is when you're making these moves to grow, to make sure that you're in line and that the person resonates with you and that you can trust them. I think that was a great tool to pass on along as well. Do your research, right? You know what you're looking for. Find someone that is a good fit for you. If I come on your page and I see what you're doing and I like what you talk about, then move forward. A lot of people are kind of like, just anybody, but no, you need to know who your fit is and who your match is. So
exactly.
So I love that you said that, encouraging people to find out who resonates with them, and then also do their due diligence. Do I resonate with you?
Yes.
Are you feeling this connection with what I talk about and who I am? Because just like with therapy, right? If you don't have a therapist that you really align and feel comfortable with, you're not going to get that work done that you're trying to accomplish in yourself, because it's not that it's falling on dead ears, but they just may not be able to understand you.
Exactly. All of that is so important. It is so important that you take the time to do that, because I'm saying in the end, it's basically for you. Yeah. It is for you. And my whole thing is like, I'm not tied to just saying, okay, I got what you need and stuff like that. My thing is I'm there to help the people that I'm there to help, and they're going to resonate with me and I'm going to resonate with them. And my thing is to be totally authentic and have integrity in what I do.
Awesome. So at the 4-month, in your 4-month program, when they go through it, what is like, and I know everyone's goal is different, but what is kind of like the overall goal for an individual?
The overall goal is for them, whatever at the beginning, we set whatever the goals is.
Okay.
So for that 4-month period, of course, you can't work on a lot of stuff or you get it. And when I say a lot of stuff, a lot of different goals. So I try to get it to one specific thing that you're trying or want to accomplish right now. And then we work on that, one specific thing. So say, you say, I just really need help with setting boundaries. I'm a nice person. I just kind of tend to let everybody kind of walk on me and I feel guilty. Then we will work on, for those 4 months, how you can set boundaries to protect yourself, but also to protect others as well, and things like that. So it just depends on what, it is that we're particularly working on.
That's awesome, right? Because there's a tool bag for whatever you're looking for, right?
Exactly, yes.
Taking the practice and doing the work to learn something new. That's awesome. And then, we find our power and our strength when we actually work on ourselves.
We do. We truly do.
And so the gutsy is that part, having the guts to step forward.
Exactly. So the gutsy, if you were to look it up, and I chose it because it says courage and determination. And so in the, like the definition of it. So that's a big thing to me, is just having the courage to do whatever it is you want to do. And the biggest thing is having the courage to be yourself. And then the determination is to just do anything that you set out to do.
Well, that is awesome. Yes. And I'm so glad that you're on that mission and taking care of our women that are 50 and over, because from 0 to 20, you're basically a child. from 20 to 50, you have those 30 years where you just got the handle of who an adult is, what it is, and learning who you are. So at 50, this is definitely the time to say, I am choosing how I want to continue the second half of my life.
Exactly. And that's what you're doing. Now you're choosing. You're not, listening to, other people's expectations of how you're supposed to be at this age, what you're supposed to be doing. You're saying, hey, I'm a grown woman and this is what I choose to do, like it or not.
This is me. That is awesome. And we love who you have chosen to be, Coach Vernie. We want to stay in touch with you. We definitely want to know everything that you have going on. We encourage you to share with our community as well, some of your tips, as well. And we just want to be here to support you along the way. And we're so happy that you are part of the She Serves Sheroes community.
Thank you. And I look forward, to staying connected with y'all, going on your Facebook or your Instagram page and just, seeing what y'all are doing out there. And if y'all have anything, going on local, I want to be a part of it.
Absolutely. We do want you there. And actually, we'll be telling everyone, but we have an event April 27th. Are you familiar with the Women Veteran Alliance?
I am. I looked at that and I don't know if I registered already or I got it on my calendar to register.
Okay. Awesome. Well, yes, we'll be sending out the local registration link soon, but we're just really looking forward to seeing, the community in person. Everybody has been wonderful. We're just so surprised to see just, how well we've been received. And we just want to have a real network and resource for women. It's like, if you come to the She Serves Sheroes community, we want to be able to say, and I'm looking for a midlife coach. She is right here. You don't have to look much further. They are right here. And as we share our stories, they always help someone else. So
they do.
Thank you so much for sharing your story and just encouraging women to continue and choose the life that they want to live and do the work.
Yes, exactly.
So are there any tips, resources, anything that we haven't covered that you would want to share with the community?
No, I think I, pretty much said everything, that I wanted to say here. Like I said, anybody out there that's watching, you can go again on Gutsy Midlife Coach on Instagram. And I'm also on Facebook. And like I said, just see what I'm putting out there and see if it resonates with you. And that's, what I have.
Awesome. We thank you so much, Coach Vernie, for your time today. We're looking forward to staying partnered with you, and just God bless in every single thing that you are doing. You look amazing. I love your hair, and just thank you for the work that you're doing. And we will talk to you soon.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and y'all take care too. And I will definitely be in touch.
All right. We'll see you soon. Have a great day.